Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, visiting East Coast Volkswagen, and I'm checking out a 2019 Volkswagen Tiguan in the R-Line trim level. This Tiguan is sitting on 255/45 Continental tires, wrapped around 19-inch alloy wheels with a silver finish. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors in the front and solid rotors in the back. The name of this color is Pure White. And as far as the color itself, it just kind of looks like a normal white color, glossy, no pearl coat or anything like that. Okay, so the front of the vehicle is slightly different on the R-Line. You can see this gloss black here around the fog lights. It's a little bit different on the R-Line than the other vehicles. It also has a little line there of gloss black at the very base. And you can see it with a white vehicle. Other vehicles, you may not see it so well. It does have parking sensors across the back, hidden here in the gloss back. You see one of them here, and they're on the sides. Now the Volkswagen emblem is here in the center, also serves as the sensor or the radar adaptive cruise control system. And then you have the chrome there as well, and the little R-Line badging. Now the headlights and fog lights are all powered by halogen bulbs here in the front. You do have an LED daytime running light, but everything else is a standard bulb. Now the reflector housings for your high and your low beams. Now it has a combination of a flat black and chrome bezels here, so you can see there's even two different types of chrome. One is for reflecting, one is for not reflecting, which it looks pretty nice looking at it, just having that separation of the chrome with the black, the flat black. And the fog lights are also in a reflector housing as well. Okay, so looking at the profile, in the front of the vehicle, it's a combination of chrome and gloss black. But here on the side, you can see the wheels are a silver finish. I really like the wheels. They stand out in a positive way for me on this vehicle. But you do have some gloss black here on the pillars here to kind of solidify the glass, especially with the privacy glass there in the back. And then you have a chrome piece across the side, as well as the R-Line chrome badging there. Now the handles are body colored. The upper portion of the side mirrors are body colored. They also have a turn signal indicator in them as well. This is what the key looks like. It's a proximity key system. Fairly light and slim key, easy to carry around with you without noticing too much. And it's designed to where you can just keep it in your pocket or in a bag. As long as it's with you, you can use the vehicle 100%. Has a physical key here on the inside when you need it. And very useful buttons, lock, unlock, remote start, and the ability to open up the power liftgate. It's all here. There's a little panic button here on the side. Let's go ahead and push that and see what happens. Okay, so it just beeps the horn, flashes the lights. Now the button itself is, even though it's on the side and easy to get to, you really have to kind of push it really hard. So that's why it took me a second to really get a hold on it and push it. So that's good, so you don't want to accidentally push it since it's right there on the edge of the key. Now walking up to the vehicle, as long as you have the key with you, it could be in a bag, in a pocket. It's gonna be in my pocket right now. And I can lock the doors by putting my finger over a sensor here, indicated by this little line. So I can put my finger like this way, doesn't matter, put my hand on it, as long as it senses your hand onto it. Now it'll lock the vehicle. To unlock it, same deal, but the sensor's on the inside of the handle. So you put your hand on the inside of the handle, it unlocks the vehicle. So it's very intuitive just to walk up and it quickly unlocks and allows you access to the vehicle. Now the physical key, there's actually a physical key location behind this cover. You will need to pry this off if you need to use that, but generally you won't need to use it, but that's where the key location is. So taking a look here on the doors, I want to point out something. The doors actually go all the way down to the bottom. So if you look here on the side, there's no portion of the vehicle that's not covered by the door here on the side. So when you open it up, it has a seal across the bottom as well. And this helps keep out the dirt from the door jamb. So when you're getting in and out of the vehicle, if there's dirt all in here, slung up by driving around, then it will get on your clothes and stuff like that. So this reduces the chance of dirt and debris getting in the door jamb, or just anywhere in which you can get dirty getting into the vehicle. So I think that's a great idea, having that door going all the way down with a seal. Okay, so the inside of the passenger side door is pretty much all black. It does have this kind of a smoked chrome handle and a little accent there on the top of that handle. Everything else is black. Now the soft touch surfaces are up here. This is kind of like a Nerf type material. Not super soft, but it is soft. And then down here, this portion and around your arm, the armrest, is all like a vinyl type material, soft touch. The rest of it is a hard plastic. Very large pocket here. Now it's a felt lining, sort of like a pool table type felt here on the inside, but it goes in there quite a ways. There's a little bit of a divider in there, but considering it has a speaker in the door and having a door pocket that big, that's pretty impressive. Now the handle, you know, goes all the way through, so you can, it's really easy to kind of grab it, and it's just a comfortable and functional handle. So you have some R-line badging here in the threshold and the sill plate. Manually adjusted seats here for the passenger. Now it's a vinyl type material, synthetic leather here. Now these are heated seats, by the way. But here on the side is a cloth. So right where it touches this hard plastic, it's more supple and designed to last a little bit longer than having the vinyl on direct contact with the plastic and getting in and out of the vehicle. So you have the ability to tilt, to move the seat forward and back, but you also have a height adjustment as well. Now there's some really micro perforations here on the seat, but they are heated. I don't know if you can see that with the sun shining on it. Okay, so I have the seat pulled up quite a ways. Let's go ahead and pull that back. Now, the way Volkswagen is, it has the handle all the way to the other side. So, it's easier to do it when you're in the vehicle than out of the vehicle. Okay, so when you put the seat back, it has just a tremendous amount of legroom here. Now, of course, it sacrifices the back. Now, I'm going to leave the seat right where it is when we look at the back seats, just to give you an idea of how much back seat room you have when you have the seat all the way in this back position. So the floor mat snaps in place, which is nice. Plenty of leg room. Now there is some tapering right in here. Other than that, pretty good. You have a net pocket there on the side. Now they have this accent that is not continuing anywhere else as far as the design. It's kind of like a gray accent there on the dash. And the dash itself is soft to the touch, kind of rubbery up in here. And this part is a hard plastic. Glove compartment is that smooth plastic as well. You have SD card slots and an optical drive in here. Now the dash has a nice texturing to it, helping out with like an anti-glare. So looks really neat, feels pretty neat. It has that kind of rubbery feel like I mentioned before. Back door opens up quite wide, and it's easy to get in and out of this vehicle. But here's the inside of the back door, very similar as the front, except for one major change really, and that is this part is no longer soft. This is a hard touch. You still have the soft touch surface around your arm here and here, but everything else is the hard touch. Okay, so I didn't move the seat, and I put it all the way back, and it's even tilted back a little bit, so you can see the legroom back here. So this seat is all the way back as well, so you can move this seat forward and back. So you can see I've diminished the legroom. Now, for the person in the front to have to put the seat back that far, they would have to be like 7 feet tall because it's tremendous. But me getting in and out of the vehicle, since the door swings open and since there's not a lot of obstruction here of the body of the vehicle, me getting in and out and I'm 6 feet tall. With that seat all the way back and tilted back, of course my knees are stuck here and pushed against the seat, but I'm able to sit here. Now this is a little uncomfortable considering my knees are pinned to the seat here, but if I kind of open my legs a little bit, like so, it's not so bad because I still have leg room here. My feet can go underneath the seat. So this is worst case scenario for a 6 foot tall person and then a NBA player there in the front. So if you have a little bit of compromise in the front seat, especially the tilt, it's going to give you a pretty decent amount of legroom. The softness of the seat is also good back here as well as the front. Overall, I think as far as the roominess and the ease of getting in and out, this is really good for both the front and the back. Third row, of course, there's always going to be limitations on that. Okay, so now I put the front seat in a more reasonable position and I slid the back seat forward, just to give you an idea of the articulation here. So if you have a car seat here, you need some more cargo space in the back, you can move the seat around, or even a child or something sitting here, it does give you the ability to move it forward and back pretty good ways. So basically it's kind of like a bench seat, but it does move forward and back in separate positions here. Also folds the back in a 60-40 split. The armrests with cup holders are right here, which you can flip up in case you need the center seat. Now there is a considerable hump here in the center, so the center passenger will kind of have to straddle that. You do have USB port, charge port, and a 12-volt power supply, cigarette lighter type, and a little storage pocket and rear vents there in the back of the console. Both of the front seats have the pocket in the back of the seats, so it's kind of shallow, but you do have it. Okay, so here's the third row, and it's pretty much for car seats or very small children. It's hard to imagine somebody, especially a large adult, sitting back here for any large period of time, but it does have the third row capability. Of course, you can fold these seats down and use it for cargo space if you need to. It does have some cup holders, a little storage space there, tie downs for when you have the seats down, and the storage space there. You can also fold the seats down and put in a shade as well. But they're not very contoured, they're pretty much flat, and you can see how low they are to the floor. So your leg room is, there's like no leg room, really. I mean, once you put these seats back, it's just for small kids, I guess. Fuel door is here on the passenger side, so it is locking. So when you lock the vehicle, it automatically locks. When we unlock it, the vehicle, it automatically unlocks the fuel door. So that's convenient. Now it has a traditional cap, tether, and a place to hang the cap. See this little post? So you can just hang it right there. So when you're pumping gas, it gets out of your way and it doesn't dangle down, scratch your paint or whatever. Okay, so looking at the back of the vehicle, here at the top, it has the roof rails, and they're in a semi-reflective chrome, like a smoked chrome, I guess you could say. And sticking out here, little shark fin antenna in gloss black. The brake light, third brake light, is here at the top of the glass. It does have a rear wiper. LED tail lights, all in the back. All the lights in the back are LEDs, so that's nice. And the side mirrors also have the turn signal indicator. So the bottom portion, this is a little controversial, but let's look down here. It has this chrome strip right in here, gloss black, and then you have these little chrome squares here. And they look just like exhaust tips, don't they? But they're not, they're just accents. So if you look, they're just completely sealed up. The actual exhaust is underneath the vehicle, hidden. So those are just kind of there for looks. So, you know, some people like it, some people don't. Now you have the parking sensors across the back as well as the front, and the backup camera, is almost in the middle, but just a tiny bit offset right in here. So not sure why, but that's good enough, I guess, as far as it not being too offset. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up the power liftgate. So you can use the key, of course, or you can push this button, which is also offset. You'd think I don't know, if they're gonna have both offset, might as well have the camera. This is one of my pet peeves here. You have the camera in the very center and then the button offset. So having the camera in the center gives you a better view overall without distorting what you're looking at. So that's one of my pet peeves. If you've noticed that recently, I'm just trying to point that out because these manufacturers are redesigning vehicles, and why not just have, like, some manufacturers are consistent right in the very center, and some Volkswagens have it right here. This pops out and it's in the very center, but having it offset sometimes is an issue. This is just a slight offset. It's not really a big deal, I guess. Okay, so it has a place to put your triangles. So if you're from what I understand, European drivers have to have triangles with them, reflective triangles. So there's a spot to put them in. And you lower the power liftgate with that button. You can also set the height with that button as well. Okay, so if all 3 rows are occupied with passengers, then this is your cargo space. So not huge, but it does have some cargo space. You have a little bit more on the right side. You have some hangers that pull out. A little space there. Now this lifts up, and this is where you'll find your shade. Remember I mentioned the shade that you can put in place when you fold this third row seat down. This is also removable. You can also, flip it up and kind of serve as a little divider or whatever. So this little thing right here can serve different functions. And then you have your spare tire and tools underneath here, and a little tiny bit more space for cargo, but it's kind of just more like pockets. It's not really a big cargo area. So with the shade here, you can't lower this floor. Now if you take the shade out, you can lower the floor down and give you a little bit more height, but it's not really going to do that with the shade in the way. So if you need a little bit more cargo space, all you have to do is start folding seats down, and that's very easy. So the third row, there's a lever right here. Okay, so you can pull that in and push it down. So now we've added to our cargo space by a whole seat. So we can still have a passenger seat on the left side and the second row. Now if we need some more cargo space, there's some levers here on the right side and the left side. So depending on what seat we want to fold down, this is the 60-40 splits here, right? We can also fold the center one separate from this one. So that typically these two are connected together, but there's a little button right there that you can fold the center portion down. But generally this whole side is one solid piece. Let's go ahead and fold down this right side just as an example. We pull on the lever and it folds down the seat. Doesn't seem to go all the way down, but as you start putting stuff in there, it only takes a little bit of tiny bit of pressure to push it down. Let's try the left side. So we're gonna pull that, and that goes a little bit further down because I guess it's a little bit heavier. But as you can see, it's easy to start folding down seats and adding to your cargo space while standing right here with one hand, basically. So if you don't have to have all the passenger, you need cargo, it's real easy to do. Okay, so folding down or lowering the power liftgate, just push that button. And as you saw earlier, I actually stopped it with my hand and it went back up, or at least stops. So it's fairly safe as far as that goes, but you still want to watch your fingers, especially children's fingers around the edge. But it's not going to like crush a shopping cart or anything. And here's the center of the seat folded down, just kind of give you an idea what it looks like. So if you have this long box that you need to put between the seats, or long whatever, pipes or whatever, and you still can have your passenger seats on the either side of it, so, which is nice. And you can always flip it up, lock it in place, and to unlock it, there's a button there, pull it down. Okay, so this is pretty cool. I'm gonna start it up, but check it out. It has the digital cockpit, which is basically a screen, and it's completely black. Looks neat. Kind of futuristic for me anyway. Somebody who grew up in the 70s and 80s. Okay, so when we have the key inside the vehicle. It's actually in my pocket now, so it can be in a bag as long as it's inside the vehicle. You put your foot on the brake, hold it, and push this button right here. And everything lights up all of a sudden. And we'll go into the dashboard very soon. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. You can see the floor mats hook in place, just like the passenger. And then you have the aluminum pedals with the raised rubber portions, looking pretty cool. Even the footrest here is also looking nice. Okay, so I'm gonna lift the hood, but just wanna point out something with the hood latch here. You notice this position. When we shut this door, it keeps this handle from this lever from being pulled out, so you don't accidentally open the hood while you're driving or when the door's shut. You do have to open the door to actually pull this lever back, so there's a physical barrier, which is nice. So let's go ahead and open it up and check out the engine. To open the hood, there's a latch in the very center. Unlike the backup camera, the latch for the hood is in the very center. So right there, push it and lift it up. You can actually see what the latch looks like here. Under portion of the hood is insulated. You do have a little bit of seals around the edges there. This is mostly for, you know, sound and a little bit of airflow. And there's a seal across the back. Insulated firewall with some heat shielding as well. Insulated battery, which is there on the right side. It's easy to get to. The top of the strut towers are right in here. So they're braced in with the unibody structure of the vehicle, giving you front end stability. Underneath the plastic cover is a 2.0 liter TSI dual overhead cam turbocharged 4-cylinder engine with direct fuel injection. And it's paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. So this vehicle has the blind spot monitor system, and the indicator is here on the side mirror. It also serves as the rear cross traffic alert system as well. So backing out of parking spaces, it will give you an alert when there's a vehicle coming, or when you're on the highway and there is a vehicle coming in your blind spot. The inside of the driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. So your power windows are all one touch up and down. Side mirrors are adjusted here. You just pick a side, left or right, and you can adjust it with this little joystick there. There's your door lock controls, the ability to open up the power liftgate. And in typical automotive fashion, the driver's seat has to one-up in features the passenger. So the driver's seat, not only does it have a power seat, it can go up and down and all that stuff, but also it has the power lumbar adjustment as well. To the left of the steering column, you see your headlight controls here. So you have off, automatic, parking light, and your headlights. Your fog lights are turned on by pulling them out. And there's little indicators here that light up. Now also, when you have your headlights on and you're driving, and as you make turns, the fog lights will turn on the appropriate side as a cornering light, which is pretty neat. So there's a storage pocket, pretty good size storage pocket here on the left side. And it has a tilt and a telescoping steering column that you lock in place with this lever. Okay, so sitting in the driver's seat, checking it out. I have the seat all the way back, all the way down, just to give you an idea, and I'm actually like half in the back seat here. It's a little bit further back for me to drive this way, I would think. I probably could, but being 6 feet tall, it just seems a little bit too far back for me. The footrest is awesome. I have plenty of room here. My foot can go up and down, so there's no restriction there as far as the height, and it's a good width, so my foot isn't like curling off the edge of it. The pedals, that raised rubber grip is nice feeling. Flat bottom steering wheel, looking pretty cool. Has the stitching there on the inside. Has the R-line badging with the gloss black. Okay, so the steering wheel, the buttons here are kind of split up. So you see at the bottom, these buttons and these buttons. This is your volume for your radio, and this is to change to your track or radio station or whatever. These buttons up here are for your cruise control. You can, once you turn it on, you can, right there is on and off. You can set it, resume, go forward and slower like so, like a normal cruise control. But it has some safety features here which you can turn on or off, like your blind spot monitor system and forward collision warning, that kind of thing. But also you have the button right here which tells you, lets you set the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you using the radar adaptive cruise control. So that's that portion. On the right side, so these are correspond with the screen, I would say, between the gauges, but it's actually the full screen here. So we'll get to that in just a minute. Windshield wiper controls are there on the right side. Turn signal and headlight dimmer switches on the left. Okay, so looking at the gauges, or should I say screen with gauge capability, is basically what it seems like. Now it simulates a nice regular gauge right now. It kind of has a weird perspective, but doesn't matter. We have your RPMs to the left with your engine coolant temperature. On the right side is your speedometer, little digital speedometer there, fuel gauge. Here in the very center you have a whole bunch of different information, and all this is customizable, by the way. Digital compass, clock, outside temperature, what your radio's doing. You have a trip and your whether your cruise control is on and what it's set at, things like this. So when I push the brake, you can see the little green arrow there. When I push the brake, that is letting me know to push the brake before I put it in gear, and that's basically what the little indicator there is for. And you have your odometer. So it seems like there's just a tremendous amount of information here already. But we can go and push this view button right here. So there's a couple buttons we're going to be using. Change through menu systems, make selections. There's also a voice recognition, and we can go up and down in different selections here. But if we push the view button, push that, now so we have the classic. We can change it to gear and speed. So you can see that changes the center portion there. So now we have a larger digital speedometer. We can go to economy and range. We can go to just economy. Now that one has these little bars right here to kind of help you stay within an eco mode as you're driving. Navigation, this is pretty cool. So we can get information there. Digital compass, and what seems like elevation there. All right, so let's go back where we're at. Driver assist systems. So now we can see the adaptive cruise control distance and the basically the vehicle there inside the compass, and it depends on what particular systems are in use right there. So that kind of gives you an idea. And then you have an off-road, the last one, last but not least, I almost forgot about it, off-road. So if we're going to take this front-wheel drive crossover SUV type vehicle off-road, then this is little useful information as far as the tilt of the vehicle and compass and all that stuff. Okay, so let's go to view, and let's go, I think gear and speed would be probably my default. So that's kind of useful right there. Simple, not too confusing, and I like a digital speedometer, so that's a larger digital speedometer. Okay, so now Are you overwhelmed with the information here? Not all this information you have to go into. Once you get it set up, and you're, you know, whoever you buy the vehicle from, the dealership or whatever, can help you get this set up, and you don't have to mess with it. Okay, so scrolling to the right and left. Okay, so now we have telephone, vehicle status, driving data, assist systems. So this will be your, you know, adaptive cruise control or whatever that happens to be active at the moment. Going to the right, your navigation. So this, I'm going to select that. And check it out, it makes the little gauges smaller and focuses on the navigation there in the center, an actual map. Now we can zoom out, in and out, using this forward and back buttons here. So we can go in and out, we can like to zoom out pretty good ways so you can see the ocean and all that. And then we push the OK button to recenter itself. So as you're driving, if you don't want to keep glancing over to the navigation screen, you can have it here instead. You just have to have smaller gauge clusters. This is pretty cool. It's really good to kind of see where you're at while you're driving in general, even if you don't have a particular destination that you're going to. You know, maybe if there's a little traffic jam or something, you see, hey, there's some side road there, I'll just take that. This is pretty cool. And the ability to keep your hands on the wheel while you're zooming in and out and then resetting it, this is a really good feature. That's one of the benefits of having a digital screen instead of a traditional gauge. You know, having this screen here just kind of helps out with adding more information on the screen. Okay, so scrolling to the right, we have audio. We can make that selection, and you see the gauges get bigger, and now we're back to the audio, which we were in the beginning. So you know, just kind of give you an idea of basically what the digital cockpit is all about. And look at there, another touch screen. So yeah, we've got some more information here as well. It does have a traditional volume tuned through the stations. Or right now we're in the radio. Okay, so radio, we can change from AM, FM, satellite radio. You have your presets there in the center. We can look for a channel list. Now if I just move my hand out of the way, that bottom portion goes down and shrinks up a little bit, but as I wave my hand up, it automatically expands out. So you can make a selection a little bit easier, you know, finding what you want. Once you get used to your vehicle, of course, you'll know right where to push, but anyways, that's pretty neat. It has little sensors right in here. Sometimes the camera picks them up. And you can't see them with your eyes, but they are there. Let's put night vision on. There we go. Now the night vision can pick it up. So they must be infrared sensors. Okay, so that's basically what the radio looks like. Media, so this is where you can change your audio source. Now the source could be CD player, which is in the glove compartment, and then you have navigation, USB, Bluetooth audio, USB 2, and auxiliary inputs here. All right, your phone, once you pair a phone, you can have access to your recent calls, your phone book, and all that stuff to, you know, send and receive calls. And of course you can use the voice recognition. Help.
Which topic do you need help with?
Media.
You can say a source, or say select track, or select album.
Play CD.
CD. The source is not available.
Okay, so there's no CD in the drive, but get the idea as far as if you don't know what to say, it kind of helps you out, steps you through the whole process here on the screen. And then the navigation, of course, we can view everything here on this screen as well as over there. But when I put the navigation on this screen, it takes it away from that screen. So you can only have it on one or the other, which I think it would be cooler to have it on both, but whatever. That's just the way it is. And we can, of course, put in destinations and all that stuff here at the bottom. Push this app button. Now these are all soft touch buttons. There's no actual push buttons here on the edge. So you have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and Mirror Link capabilities. You will need to plug in or attach your, hook up your cell phone to use those. Information about your car is here, so you can check out your fuel economy. And let's go to select. Let's go to energy consumption. Let's go to driving data, so we can get our average speed and all that stuff, or range. Blue trainer, so as we're driving, if you want to stay in an eco mode, or eco, the best fuel economy basically is what it trains you to do. So you're going to drive real slow as if you're driving, you know, real easy to achieve that. And then your vehicle status. I'm going to open up the door. Tire pressure monitoring system. Okay, so it doesn't actually show the door opening. Some will have like this animation of the car door opening, but it just tells you, hey, the car's door's open or whatever on the vehicle status. Then you can go into this menu right here, and this is where you can quickly access all these different features that we've gone over, and you can access them. You also have a very extensive settings that you can go into, and your climate control and all that stuff. Okay, so that's a quick rundown of the touchscreen on some of the features that it has. Your climate control is down here. It's a dual zone. Driver and passenger temperatures are here. Fan speed's in the middle. Of course, you can have it on automatic, and it automatically adjusts everything for you as long as you set the temperatures. So you see the temperature for the driver and passenger there. Heated seat controls for the driver and passenger here, where you want the air to blow, and recirculate the air, all that good stuff. When you push this menu button right here, it pops up here. Okay, so kind of gives you a visual reference of what's going on with the climate control. So you can have them sync together, or you can have them separate, that kind of thing. Alright, so down here, 2 USB ports, auxiliary input, and a 12-volt power supply. Now, when you're using Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, you will need to have your cell phone attached. They have this good spot with a rubber portion at the bottom to put your cell phone nice and big. It also, you know, put junk in there as well. There's the shifter. So go ahead and put it in reverse and check out the backup camera that's slightly offset. Looks pretty good, actually. So it has the adaptive or active guidelines as well. Neutral, drive. Now there's going to be, when you have it in reverse, I'm going to step back there for a second. When you put it in reverse, two things will actually happen. One will be your backup camera pops up, but the second thing is your parking sensors are now active. So as you back up, if you get close to something, it's going to beep at you and let you know something is back there to look out. Neutral, drive. Now if you bump it down one more time, that puts it into a sport mode. Bump it down again, is back in drive. So that's how you cycle back and forth. It'll show you right here, S or D. Now if you bump it to the right, you can limit the high gear ratio, kind of like a ratchet shifter. You can you know, change through the gears. So you can see manual 1, manual 2. It only lets you start off in first or second gear there, but you can kind of have some control over the gear ratio by putting it over here and manually changing through the gears. Here on the right side, now this vehicle has an auto stop start feature. So basically, as you come to a complete stop at a stop sign or whatever, and you have it in drive, it's going to turn the engine off. Okay, so if you don't like that feature, and a lot of people don't, you can turn it off here when you get into the vehicle. And then you can turn your parking sensors off if you need to there, if they're just bugging you or whatever. Okay, so cup holders are here, and it has these little articulating arms, quite a few of them, taking up the space to accommodate different size cups. A little storage space there. Okay, so here's your armrest. Soft to the touch. Doesn't bottom out very easy either. It's pretty soft. This lifts up, and I like the way it's stiff, so it doesn't just flop down or flop up. It just stops wherever you land on, wherever you put it. So that's nice. And then you have a storage space in here. It's all dark, has a rubber bottom, and Yeah, that's about it. You can see my hand moving around. It's kind of hard to see in there with the camera. If they put that, I think if they were to put that that rubber mat at the bottom, if they were to have that like a tan color or gray or something a lighter color, you could be able to see in there a little bit better. But anyways, that's just the way it is. No lights or anything in there either. Manual day and night mode for the rear view mirror. Then you have some tap lights up here. You can have the interior lights turn on with the door, if you like that. And you can turn on the rear lights right here. This is for the shade for the sunroof, and this is actually moved glass on the sunroof. We'll get to that in just a minute. Up here you have roadside assistance and emergency access here. The visors have mirrors and little lights that turn on. Clip there. Kind of stiff. There we go. So yeah, these kind of stiff head visors. Now it's kind of like a vinyl texture. It's kind of like a cloth, but it's not. It's hard to tell. It's kind of like a vinyl cloth type material on the outside of it. And this extends out. This helps out with the side of the vehicle mostly. Okay, so this panoramic sunroof. So there's this massive sunroof here. Check it out. It doesn't block 100% of the light, so a little bit of light can shine through, but it's most of the light. I kind of like a full blockage, but this one doesn't do that. But look at that, it goes way back there. Massive, massive sunroof. So we can push this button and open up the shade. And so hopefully you got a few minutes to let it go back, because this is a huge sunroof. Now that back portion is a fixed piece of glass. The front portion is the one that moves. So look at that. That's crazy. Okay, so let's use the button here. Tilt it up. Tilt it down. Now we can move it backwards. Let's see how far it actually goes back though. That's usually... Okay, so let's push it again. It goes back a little. Yeah, it goes way back. So yeah, that's pretty neat. Feels good outside today too. Okay, while that's closing, let's go ahead and look at the visibility in the back. Okay, so I have all the headrests in the way and all that stuff, just to give you an idea of the visibility. It does have quite a bit of glass back there, windows everywhere, so that's good. Of course, you have the blind spot camera system, parking sensors, all these different safety features to help you out with visibility, because when you have a bunch of passengers back here, it's going to block a lot of your visibility anyway. But just looking over my shoulder and looking at the rear, the side mirrors and all that stuff, seems like the visibility is pretty good for me, in my opinion. Alright, so there you have it. Thank you for watching. Thank you to East Coast Volkswagen here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, for allowing me to show off another awesome vehicle. And I'll see you guys next time.